Welcome back to my channel SPCC Easy. In this channel, I'll be posting videos related to system programming and compiler construction. Now I'm focusing on syntax analysis. Today we are going to see a very interesting topic, that is predictive parsing. So in my previous video, I have explained about how to eliminate left recursion and how to find first and follow. These two topics are very important and prerequisite for this video or for this predictive parsing topic. Okay, so as I told already, this predictive parsing is one of the parsing techniques of top-down parsing. So let's go into the topic, what is predictive parsing. So for example, you have some program called predictive parsing program, and in the stack you have this non-terminals ended by a dollar symbol, and also you have this input sequence of some some terminals followed with by symbols and ending with a dollar sign. Now what we have to do? What we have to do here is we need to know about what are the components. You have an input and you have a stack and you have a parsing table. So first we are going to see how this system works, and we are going to see about how this parsing technique going to work, like what are the steps are there in the predictive parsing technique. Okay, so how this system is going to work, how the predictive parsing works is, if x equal to a equal to dollar, means if the symbol in the stack x which is equal to a or which is same as the input symbol, okay, then that is equal to a dollar. Okay, so if this and this and this or dollar or everything is equal to dollar, the parser will halt and saying the successful completion of parsing. Here it doesn't means that this x and this a. Here the stack is meant as x and the input is meant as a. If both are equal to dollar, it means the parser will halt and it will say the successful completion of parsing. Then in the next case, if both are equal, means the stack and the input symbol are equal and they are not equal to dollar. Okay, then the parser pops the x of this stack and advances the input pointer to the next symbol. For example, this and this is same. What will happen is this will go out of the stack and this pointer will be moved to the next symbol. Then if x is a non-terminal, okay, if x is a non-terminal, in this case these both are, we are seeing it as a terminal. So here if it is a non-terminal, the program consults every entry of m of x comma a, means the parsing program will check the parsing table where we will have the entry for the non-terminal along with the input symbol. So after checking that, it will get a value from the parsing table. So after getting that value will be a production. What is the production? X is deriving u, v and w. Now what the parser will do, it will replace the x on the top of the stack by w, v, u. The most important thing you have to identify here is the string is u, v, w, but how will you put into the stack? W, v, u, so that u will come out first, then v, then w. Okay, so if it is an error means if it is not there, then the parser calls an error recovery routine. Okay, so let's go in depth into how predictive parsing works, or what are the steps to do the predictive parsing. So what is the first step is eliminate left recursion. Second step is finding the first and follow. These two things are already covered in my previous video. Kindly check, I have given the link in the description box. Now we will directly move into the next step of constructing the predictive parsing table. So this is my elimination of left recursion, and after the eliminating left recursion, this is the answer. Once again, how these things work are already explained in my previous video, so I don't want to explain here in depth. Please check my previous video. So let's go into the next part, that is finding first and follow is also explained already. So next part is constructing a parsing table. Okay, now how to construct a parsing table? What we have to do is, first we have to check what is the symbol here, e. Okay, so what is the symbol here, e, and we have to see what is the first of that symbol. The first of the symbol is open bracket and id. So in my open bracket, in my id, I have to fill it with a production. Now what is my production? My production is e derives t e dash. On the previous paper also I have told you about the how the parser will work. It will check the non-terminal and also the input string. Based on that, the production will be put. Now we are doing, or we are constructing the parsing table. What we have to do is, we have to see what is the first. Based on the first symbol, we have to fill it with the production. So here I will be filling it with E derives T E dash on ID, and also on open bracket I will write E derives T E dash. Now what is the next step? I will go for T. Okay, T, what is first of T? Again open bracket and ID. So I will write, what is the tree production here? T derives F T dash. So T derives F T dash for ID, and also for open bracket T derives F T dash. Okay, I think it is clear. Now we'll go for the next thing. F, open bracket and ID. I am just completing open bracket and ID together, so it will be easy for you to remember. Okay, so for F, it is bracket of E and ID. So what I will do for ID, I will write the ID production, F derives ID, and for open bracket I will write the open bracket wala production, F is open bracket of E. Okay, so far so good, things are very easy. Now let's move to the next part. One more thing I have to say here is, you should not fill epsilon inside the parsing table. Okay, so now let's see what to do for that. For the E dash, we have to fill it on plus and epsilon. You have plus here, but you don't have any epsilon here. So what we have to do is, for that entry we have to check the follow. Okay, so for first thing we will fill for E dash and plus. For E dash and plus, what is the production for plus? E dash derives plus T E dash. Okay, now we have to fill this production called E dash derives epsilon, but we have to see where we have to fill it. Where we have to fill it? We have to fill it in the follow. Who are the follow of that people? Follow of the people is your close bracket and dollar. Okay, so in close bracket and dollar, I have to fill it with E dash derives epsilon, E dash derives epsilon. Okay, now let's move to the next part, T dash. T dash ka follow is plus O dollar and close bracket. So plus dollar and close bracket. What is my production? T dash derives epsilon, T dash derives epsilon, T dash derives epsilon. One more production I forgot, that is my star production. Okay, so where I have to fill? For star, T dash derives star F T dash. Okay, so you might be asking, ma'am, what about the remaining entries, or what about the blank entries? See, the blank entries are called as your error entries. Okay, so the third step is also done. Constructing the parsing table is also done. Now let's move on to the fourth step. The fourth step is very important. That is, we have to parse the input string. So the input string given was ID plus ID, okay, star ID dollar. Now this is my input string. So initially my parent production is E and it is ended with a dollar. Okay, now you have to check what is there in the stack and what is there in the input. So E on ID. So E on ID. So what is E on ID? E on ID is E derives T E dash. So based on the parsing program, what I have to do? I have to put the T E dash dollar and I have to pop out the E. So I will pop this production T E dash. Okay, then I will continue this input string. So I feel till now it is clear. Now what is my next step? I see T and I see ID. Now what is T on ID? T on ID is T derives F T dash. Okay, so you have to write T derives F T dash. So you have to write F T dash, T derives F T dash, okay, and ID plus ID star ID dollar. Okay, now what is the next step? F on ID. So what is F on ID? F on ID is F is deriving ID. So what you will write here? I will just complete this line. Okay, f on id is, you will write id here, t dash e dash dollar, production is f derives id. Okay, so now I am just continuing the input here also. Till here we have not passed anything. Now what you are seeing here, id and id. So according to your parsing program, when you have the stack and input are same, we have to just pop out. So what we have to write here, remaining is t dash e dash dollar. Also you have to advance the pointer. So now your pointer will be here, star id dollar. Okay, now what is the next step? T dash on plus. So what is my t dash on plus? T dash on plus says t dash derives epsilon. So epsilon we will replace here. So it will be replaced like t dash derives epsilon. So e dash and dollar plus id star id dollar. Okay. Now what is the next step? E dash on plus. E dash on plus. So e dash on plus is e dash derives plus t e dash. So I will write plus t e dash dollar plus id star id dollar. Now what we have passed? Plus and plus. So here I have to write e dash derives plus t e dash. Okay, now plus and plus will get cancelled, then t e dash dollar id star id dollar. Now t on id. Now t on id, t on id, t derives f t dash. So I'll write f t dash e dash dollar id star id dollar. Okay, t dash derives f t dash. Okay, now f on id, f on id, f on id is f derives id. So id t dash e dash, okay, dollar id star id dollar. Now id same and f derives id is also here. Okay, id same. So next step is t dash e dash dollar star id dollar. Okay, now t dash on star, t dash on star, t dash derives star f t dash. So star f t dash e dash dollar star id dollar, t dash derives star f t dash. So star and star will get cancelled, then f t dash e dash dollar id dollar. So now next production will be f derives id. So f derives id, so id will come here, t dash e dash dollar id dollar. Okay, id will get cancelled, then t dash e dash dollar dollar. Now t dash on dollar, t dash on dollar is epsilon. So epsilon you will not write, so you will write directly e dash dollar dollar. So t dash derives epsilon. Now e dash on dollar, e dash on dollar is again e dash is deriving epsilon. So you will write dollar on dollar, e dash derives epsilon, and dollar on dollar you will say accept. So finally the input string is passed. Now last step here is you have to construct the parse tree. Now how to construct a parse tree? You have to follow all the output stages. So now E is deriving T E dash. Okay, now T is deriving F T dash. Then F is deriving ID. Then T dash is deriving, this is T dash is deriving epsilon. Then E is deriving plus T E dash. Then T dash is deriving F T dash. Then F is deriving ID. Then T dash is deriving star F T dash. then F is deriving ID, then T dash is deriving epsilon, E dash is deriving epsilon. So this is the successful completion of a predictive parsing. Now we will move to a small topic that is called as a grammar is said to be LL1 or not. So when you say a grammar is LL1, you should not have multiple entries for any cell inside your parsing table. Okay. Also one more thing I have to mention here is something called left factoring. In my previous video I said about left recursion. In this video I am talking about left factoring. Now what is left factoring is, if you have a common expression that you can rewrite that grammar such that A derives alpha beta 1 alpha beta 2, that can be rewritten as A derives alpha A dash and A dash derives beta 1 and beta 2. Okay. So in this example if you see IETS is the common expression that is there in the older grammar. So what it can be replaced as, and this is the grammar that don't have any common thing, so that can be written here as it is. Then IETS, okay, then S dash derives ES from this grammar and epsilon for this grammar, and last grammar is same. Okay. So this is the part like how to eliminate or how to do the left factoring. And first and follow, this is already done, so you can just find the first and follow as an exercise. Now here I am going to just show you how to construct a parsing table and to show you how the grammar is LL1 or not. Okay. So I already told you, when you have to construct a parsing table, you have to focus on the first. So S ka first is I and A. So what is I production? For A you will be writing S derives I, E, T, S, S dash. Okay. For I production you will be writing S derives I, E, T, S, S dash, and for A production S derives E. Okay, sorry for this mistake. Okay, now next what is first of E on B, the production is very simple, E on B. Now S dash on small e, it will be S dash derives ES. Now one epsilon, we cannot write epsilon here, so we'll go for dollar and E. So dollar and E, I have to write what production? S dash derives epsilon, S dash derives epsilon. Now in this case you are having the two different entries in the single cell of the parsing table where the grammar is not in LL1. So the reason is very simple. When you have multiple entries in a cell, then that grammar is not in LL1. Again, this is a very repeated important university question. Thanks for watching.